This is Channel 13, WIBW TV, Topeka, Kansas.
You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Good morning and welcome into 13 News. I'm Erica Hall. I'm sure we're all hoping for a beautiful Saturday ahead. Let's check in with Peyton Sanders for an update. Hello, Peyton. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, we're looking forward to some warm weather today, so that's some good news in the weather department. 70s, so yeah, going to be pretty nice. Lots of sunshine and beautiful weather as we head towards Easter. And it is a bit on the chilly side, though, this morning. If you're heading out in the next hour or two, you'll need the jacket because we're starting out in the 30s for many spots this morning. The good news, we are above freezing, so we don't have to have any concern about your plants outside or anything like that, but it is still rather chilly. Lots of blue sky in Manhattan this morning. This will be looking north from the Flint Hills Discovery Center. We're back out of the, looks like out of the 30s now. We were in the 30s the last hour, but 8 o'clock temperatures just coming in now at 41 in Topeka and Lawrence. Those are the coolest readings that we have this morning. 42 in Manhattan. We have 52 in Concordia. That's where the winds are out of the south now up to around 9 miles per hour, so that's boosting up the temperatures. Elsewhere where there's a calm wind, that's what allowed for the really chilly temperatures to settle on in overnight. But we'll warm up pretty quickly. By 10 o'clock, we're up to 61 degrees, already up to 71 by 1 o'clock this afternoon. Highs this afternoon should top out in the upper 70s. A bit of a south breeze today, but it shouldn't be as gusty as the winds that we had for yesterday. And Easter Sunday looking even warmer. Highs should make it into the lower 80s for everyone. Partly cloudy skies and a gusty south wind, so get a chance to enjoy this nice weather that we'll have for both today and tomorrow. Some of you could see a thunderstorm tomorrow. We'll see which places have the best chance and what's in store for the next 8 days in your full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Peyton. Authorities are investigating an early morning shooting in downtown Topeka. Topeka police got a report of a shooting around 3 a.m. at 1020 Western Avenue. When they arrived, they found a man shot in the leg and transported him to a local hospital. There's no word yet on the man's condition. Police say they're not searching for anyone in connection to the shooting, and there is no suspected danger to the public. Last September, Mallory Mitchell went to get her wisdom teeth removed and due to a series of complications was left in a coma. 13's Grant Stevens shows us how after months of therapy, the Rossville community is coming together to support her on her road to recovery.
When times get tough, small town communities come together.
And come together they did tonight in full support of Mallory Mitchell and her fiance Kyle Hammer.
It's good to see the community come together, not just Rossville, but Rossville, St. Mary's and the surrounding area. The support that we have received through this is just incredible.
Penny Jambold is the commander of the Rossville American Legion.
And they called us Monday or Tuesday and said, hey, we want to do a fundraiser for Mallory. Would the Legion be interested? Absolutely. When someone is in need, everyone comes together.
The Legion set up a booth at the door to take donations. 100% of that, and a portion of the bar sales too, will go towards supporting the young couple as Mallory continues treatment and recovery. A big part of the event was the entertainment. The man responsible for that is Scott Helmer, a musician who travels the country to perform. He was drawn in by Rossville's charm, so he wanted to help draw support for the cause.
It's incredible, you know, I get to do my little part and just play some music, and you know, we're celebrating tonight. We're celebrating life, second chances, comebacks, and for me to be a part of that and just have a little fun tonight, I'm very blessed.
But of course, all this support isn't a surprise. The couple knew they could count on their community.
Couldn't be happier.
To see Mitchell's full story of recovery, visit our website at WIBW.com. Law enforcement officers know what 420 means too. That's why they're stepping up patrols this weekend. The Kansas Highway Patrol kicked off their increased enforcement earlier in the week, targeting drugged and drunk drivers. 420 is slang referring to marijuana use. It's also a no refusal weekend. That means they'll use a search warrant if someone refuses testing during a traffic stop. New KHP Superintendent Herman Jones says it's about protecting everyone on the road.
You're impaired. It's about safety. The officer's safety, the other folks that are driving out there, but the person that's actually driving. It's about their safety as well. So that's the emphasis of what we're trying to do here. Want to break our highways as safe as possible.
Jones said they can usually smell alcohol on drivers, but they can't smell all drugs. We have an update on a story we have been following. Lawrence police say a missing mother and son have been found safe. Lawrence police say 22-year-old Felicia Minor and 3-year-old Dominic were not hurt. LPD provided no further details, but did tell 13 News they have no report of anything criminal happening involved with the situation. LPD thanked the community for their assistance in helping find them. The paperwork is complete on Brian Hill's appointment as the new Shawnee County Sheriff. The Secretary of State's office received Governor Kelly's letter on Friday, officially making the appointment. The retired Topeka police detective was chosen for the position on Saturday in a special vote by Shawnee County Republican Precinct Committee members. He'll finish out Herman Jones' term, which runs through 2020. Governor Kelly appointed Jones as the new Kansas Highway Patrol Superintendent. Hill told 13 News he appreciates the governor's quick action and he expects to be sworn in on Monday. Local veterinarians are seeing more cases of a condition called pyometra in cats and dogs, but they say you can prevent it. I went to a local animal hospital to find out what it is. A warning, some of the images you're about to see are a bit graphic. Gage Animal Hospital has seen 6 cases of pyometra in cats and dogs this year. They'd seen that many total in the past 2 years.
It's an infection of the uterus, typically caused by the hormonal changes that a dog or a cat goes during their heat cycle.
Pyometra can occur in other mammals too. Veterinarian Leslie Blackwell says you can spot symptoms early.
A lot of the times we notice discharge from their vulva. When we're palpating an animal's abdomen, we can actually sometimes feel the amount of pus-filled uterus, and their belly can be kind of bloated or distended.
This cat, Gage Animal Hospital posted on Facebook, lost more than half its body weight when her pus-filled uterus was removed. Owners can prevent the infection altogether by spaying their female pets.
If a pyometra is left untreated, that animal can develop a life-threatening infection called sepsis and can lead to death.
And age isn't a factor either. This senior Chihuahua contracted the disease.
They will continue to go through heat cycles their entire life. Anytime a dog or a cat goes through a heat cycle, they are at risk for developing this life-threatening infection.
Blackwell isn't sure why more cases are showing up recently, but hopes education can save pets' lives. In Topeka, Erica Hall, 13 News. If you suspect your pet is exhibiting signs of pyometra, contact your veterinarian immediately. We also posted a link for more information about the condition at WIBW.com. Corteo, one of the most loved Cirque du Soleil productions, is in Topeka this weekend. 3 acrobatic and circus-like performances are still left to run through Sunday at the Kansas Expo Center. Corteo follows the story of a clown picturing his own funeral. It takes place in a carnival atmosphere with lots of fun and spontaneity. The cast includes more than 50 acrobats, musicians, singers, and actors from all around the world.
The show is a tribute to the traditional circus. You have acts like juggling, hula hoops. We have a theater board, which is actually it's like a stream seesaw, Roosier. So it's many different acts where we're gonna see people flying above the stage and walking through the stage doing some amazing things.
Tickets start at $45. You can get them at the box office, or we posted a link at WIBW.com. Coming up, find out which kiddos are in our Wendy's Birthday Club. Stay tuned.
You're watching 13 News This Morning, Saturday edition with Erica Hall. 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Several kids from Northeast Kansas are celebrating their special day today, and it's time to add them to our Ultimate Birthday Club, sponsored by Wendy's. First up, we got happy guy Jonathan Wheeler turning 9 years old today. Then we have smiley Aries Curtin, who is 6 years old. Little athlete Daisy Mae Wheeler is turning 9 years old. And last but certainly not least, we have personality-filled Layla Stang, who is 5 years old. Happy birthday, guys. We hope it's the best yet. If you have a child turning 13 or under with a birthday coming up, upload their photo to our website at WIBW.com/thismorning, and please get it into us at least 2 weeks before their big day. Now here's Peyton with another quick look at the forecast.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to have some nice weather around this weekend, warmer temperatures with 70s and 80s. The good news, not really a chance for severe weather this weekend, but we're going to be getting there within the next month. As we know, heading into May in Kansas, it's going to be that time of year. And so to get you prepared, we're programming weather radios into the upcoming week in Topeka at the North Topeka Walmart Monday. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Jeremy's going to be out there. Also, Rob Pepper is going to be out there programming weather radios. If you don't have one, you want to buy one, they will be available there as well. Going to be in Manhattan at the Waters True Value on Wednesday, the Holton Walmart on Friday, and then next Monday, Junction City, the Waters True Value. Hope to see you out there and program some weather radios as we get closer to some more severe weather heading our way. Nothing really in our forecast anytime soon, but we'll be looking at 70s for today, 80s on Sunday. For Easter, going to be pretty nice around here. We'll see when we do have some rain chances showing up in the 8-day forecast, and how long will this warmer weather last? The answer to that in your full forecast after this break. Once we get into the afternoon, there comes that slightly cooler weather for the start of the upcoming work week, down to 75 Monday, even cooler for Tuesday with 65 with those cloudy skies and some rain in the area. But we jump right back up to 71 on Wednesday and back into the lower 80s for a final weekend in April next Saturday.
A bad forecast. Cool. Thanks, Peyton. And coming up in sports, the latest on college basketball draft declarations and awards, and a look at the high school track and field action, results from yesterday's Kansas relays. Plus, a little later, we're headed back to the WIBW Garden. Eric and Dave will have tips on how to plant while the soil is still wet. This week in the WIBW Garden, Eric and Dave talk wet garden planting and also show you what you need to do now to ensure a nice garden lawn in the summer.
Eric, what's going on?
Well, it's like this.
I can't hear you. Shut that off.
All right. Dave, it's like this. The last time I checked the calendar, it's the middle of April, and all we have planted are potatoes.
Could you shut the lights off too?
Oh, I'm sorry. So, there you go.
Well, Eric, we've had some issues. You hit the sprinkler system. We've had snow, rain, cold temperatures, freezing. But we can still do it. We still have time, and we'll show them how.
Well, I suppose you guys are counting on us, and I'm sure you guys are getting in your garden eventually like us. So, hey, friends, welcome to the WIBW soil. I mean, eventually it's going to be a garden, right, Dave? But as wet as it is right now, what are we gardeners? What can we do? We want to get into our garden.
Well, if we're careful, we can plant just the way this garden is, too wet, but without causing damage. I'll show you. With it being as wet as it is, we don't want to rototill and make mud balls or further compact the soil. So what we're going to do is just make a hole with some kind of a planting stick, like so, and then insert the plant. We'll put the plant down in there, and then add potting soil on top.
So here we can do this with the rest of our cold crops. We've got cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, your favorite, not mine, Brussels sprouts, and we have lettuce. Now, let me ask you a question, though. What if our weather guy says, ooh, it's going to freeze tonight? What do we do?
Depends on the freeze. If it's just in the lower 30s, this is safe. But if he says down into the mid-20s, that is a freeze, and we need to cover with some kind of a blanket. We have frost blankets, but never ever plastic or metal, because it transmits the cold right to your plant.
Wow, I just learned something today. Woohoo! Time out. Dave, I think it's time we put our garden on hold because we need to be in our yard, like, right now?
Right now this week. It's critical we get Fertilome for all seasons to prevent crabgrass the rest of this year. If not, then we'll have to go to a different product that will kill crabgrass that's already emerged and then keep the crabgrass out, and that would be the Weed Out Pro Turf.
Well, friends, we're out of time. Dave, why do they call these cold crops? I mean, what are watermelon and cantaloupe? Hot crops?
These are cold crops. C-O-L-E.
Oh.
Eric.
What is this, Sesame Street?
Feels like it, Eric, working with you.
Oh, Bert, come on, Bert. Bye.
Always a good time. Now, in our typical fashion, we go from the garden to the table. A restaurant so nice, they opened it twice. And this morning's Fork in the Road, 13's Becky Goff takes us to the farmhouse in Olsburg, where a hometown girl is serving up fresh cooked farm food.
From selling meat to cooking meat, an Oldsburg family turned the old general store into a destination restaurant.
My father, so about 6 years ago, the store shut down, and he goes, I think you could do this. I think this would be really good for you. And ever since, it's just been a whirlwind and been building and going.
Erin Gooch didn't plan on running a restaurant. With that encouragement from her father, she is now. Her love of her childhood home became the inspiration behind the name and the food that she serves.
Well, growing up, we lived in a farmhouse, and that's kind of where the name came from. Being in the country, we feed a lot of farmers. I grew up in a farmhouse and just decided that that was a good calling point.
Her signature dish is a burger with a twist.
It's something that we make in-house. It's Swedish potato sausage, and it's ground up, and we make it into a patty. It's got pork, beef, onions, and spices in it, and you eat it on a bun, and it's something I don't know if you can find anywhere else.
Hand cut to order French fries and made from scratch pies to round out your meal. Customers can't stop talking about the delicious food.
She has just good food overall, period.
Which inspired her to open up a second location.
In November, we opened up our second restaurant over in Riley, and we're really excited to offer a lot of the same farmhouse items over there that we do in Oldsburg.
I recommend it to anybody who's got time to take a little jaunt and go visit either one of the restaurants.
In Oldsburg, Becky Goff, 13 News.
For hours and location, you can visit their website, thefarmhouseinoldsburg.com. Fork in the Road is brought to you by Hellraiser's Roadhouse in Harveyville. The top news stories of the day and your area forecast straight ahead. 13 News Saturday Morning Edition continues right after this. Welcome back. The time is now 8:32, and that means it's time to check back in with Peyton for an update on the day ahead. Hello, Peyton.
Well, hello, Erica, and good morning, everyone. We've got some nice weather in store this weekend. 70s and 80s, just in time. Yeah, going to be pretty nice. Lots of sunshine for today and nice weather as we head into Easter. In fact, around here, Topeka will have 77 today. Lots of sunshine. The wind's a bit breezy out of the south. Clay Center, Concordia, you could hit 80 this afternoon, so a very nice start to the weekend. And Eric and Dave were out in the garden talking about what happens if we see freezing temperatures. Well, some insight here. Our average final spring freeze typically occurs right around this time of year, but it might be safe to say that we are done with any sort of hard freezes. So if you have any plants that you want to get outside, maybe you've been holding off on that, look at our low temperatures Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all into the upcoming week, well above freezing. So we'll see how that pans out, but at least for the foreseeable future, temperatures not anywhere close to freezing during the morning. The exception is this morning, actually one of the coldest mornings we'll have for a while. Let's be from Emporia from our Valiant Fiber Skycam looking to the southwest. Temperatures this morning cool along I-70, 41 in Topeka and Lawrence, 42 in Manhattan. The warm spot Concordia checking in at 52. We'll see what's in store for the rest of the week, and there's a slight chance we might see a couple storms heading into the evening hours tomorrow. More on that coming up in about 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Peyton. Authorities are investigating an early morning shooting in Topeka. Topeka police got a report of a shooting around 3 a.m. at 1020 Western Avenue. When they arrived, they found a man shot in the leg and transported him to a local hospital. There's no word yet on the man's condition. Police say they are not searching for anyone in connection to the shooting, and there is no suspected danger to the public. Today marks 20 years since one of the most shocking killing sprees in America, the massacre at Columbine High School. It was the deadliest high school shooting in U.S. history at the time and sparked national debates on gun control, bullying, and violence. Kenneth Craig returned to Littleton and talked with a student who survived about her long road to recovery.
You're different after you go through something like this. You're not the same person.
Amy Over is 2 decades into what she describes as a journey, a continuous emotional struggle after surviving the mass shooting during her senior year at Columbine High School.
That was your last day of school, right?
That was my last day of school. I just wanted to forget it, that it ever happened.
12 of Amy's classmates were killed, as well as her basketball coach, Dave Sanders, when 2 seniors opened fire inside the school. Amy credits her coach for saving her life, telling her when to run out the front door amid a hail of gunfire.
I didn't start my therapy journey until after I had my daughter.
And what happened?
I dropped her off at kindergarten, and or pre-kindergarten, and I had a panic attack. I had panic attacks, chronic panic attacks, for about 2 years.
Wow.
Debilitating panic attacks.
Intensive therapy has tackled her trauma and survivor's guilt, and so has her work on the Rebels Project, an organization formed by Columbine survivors to help victims of other mass shootings.
It just makes you feel that, you know, you're not alone in this fight, you know. Me and some of my best friends from basketball.
Amy still keeps a box of memories from Columbine, a complicated time capsule of some of her brightest days.
Like this basketball hat right here that I made out of a basketball. And I wore it on my head.
And some of her darkest.
All my graduation cards have thoughts and prayers. Thoughts are with you.
Today, she lives with her husband and 2 children not far from Littleton.
We still have open wounds, invisible wounds that that people can't see, and we're still fighting our own demons and our own battles. I've come a really long way.
Amy says she's slowly moving forward in a healing process that may last a lifetime. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Parker, Colorado.
It's an incredible story. Law enforcement officers know what 420 means too. That's why they're stepping up patrols this weekend. The Kansas Highway Patrol kicked off their increased enforcement earlier in the week, targeting drugged and drunk drivers. 420 is slang referring to marijuana use. It's also a no refusal weekend. That means they'll use a search warrant if someone refuses testing during a traffic stop. New KHP Superintendent Herman Jones says it's about protecting everyone on the road.
You're impaired. It's about safety. The officer's safety, the other folks that are driving out there, but the person that's actually driving. It's about their safety as well. So that's the emphasis of what we're trying to do here. Want to break our highways as safe as possible.
Jones said they can usually smell alcohol on drivers, but they can't smell all drugs. We have an update on a story we have been following. Lawrence police say a missing mother and son have been found safe. Lawrence police say 22-year-old Felicia Minor and 3-year-old Dominic were not hurt. LPD provided no further details, but did tell 13 News they have no report anything criminal was involved. LPD thanked the community for their assistance in helping find them. The fire at Notre Dame Cathedral hit close to home for one KU music professor. He performed there on the grand organ that survived the flames. I spoke with him about why the cathedral means so much.
James Higdon is a professor of organ at the KU School of Music. When he and his students got the news the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was burning, everything stopped.
We gathered in my office and we just watched, and it was devastating. Nobody said anything.
Higdon was heartbroken.
The history of Western polyphonic music began in 1100 at that cathedral.
Just last week, he accepted an invitation to perform there in September 2020, his 7th invite over his lifetime.
We watched the fire just go right across the roof, getting closer and closer to the organ, which is between the 2 bell towers. It looked hopeless. It looked to me like nobody would ever play the organ or hear the organ again.
Miraculously, the organ survived.
The hymn boards are still there, and the organ, which is above it, way above it, really doesn't look like suffered much damage at all. It was somehow protected.
Higdon says the organ still must be taken apart and cleaned pipe by pipe to ensure the best musical performance, but make no mistake, he has faith it will make music again soon and hopes he can be the one playing it.
I don't think the 2020 goal is possible, but let's say 2025. Okay. I would be happy with 2025.
He was a nice guy. Around $1 billion have been donated from around the world to rebuild the damaged sections of the cathedral. Corteo, one of the most loved Cirque du Soleil productions, is in Topeka this weekend. 3 acrobatic and circus-like performances are still left to run through Sunday at the Kansas Expo Center. Corteo follows the story of a clown picturing his own funeral. It takes place in a carnival atmosphere with lots of fun and spontaneity. The cast includes more than 50 acrobats, musicians, singers, and actors from all around the world.
The show is a tribute to the traditional circus. You have acts like juggling, hula hoops. We have a theater board, which is actually it's like a stream seesaw, Russier. So it's many different acts where we're gonna see people flying above the stage and walking through the stage doing some amazing things.
Tickets start at $45. You can get them at the box office, or we post a link at WIBW.com. Coming up in our Salute the Badge series, this firefighter is on a new life-saving mission to prevent youth suicides. Hear what he's doing and why next.
You're watching 13 News This Morning, Saturday edition with Erica Hall. 13 News, Kansas.
This morning, we honor a local firefighter who is not only protecting people from fires, but is stepping in to prevent youth suicides. I got to hear his story in Salute the Badge, brought to you by DeBackers.
Since starting with the Mission Township Fire Department at just 22 years old, Lieutenant Tyler Abernathy has been working for the last few years to make a difference in the lives of youth in the community.
They quickly promoted me to the fire prevention officer, so I was in charge of doing basically public education with the elementary school students.
But when their department started running more suicides and self-harm attempts than actual house fires, Abernathy realized they needed to shift their educational focus.
And I thought, well, if we're putting so much time and training into teaching these kids how to be safe, why don't we teach these kids how to be peer support and help each other and know the resources that they're going to need to potentially save lives themselves.
From there, Abernathy and his partner Brandon Wyand started the Be a Lifesaver campaign 2 years ago, which partnered with Washburn Rural Middle School's peer Make a Difference group.
Kids that we are working with in the Make a Difference group, they're probably the bravest kids I've ever met. Everybody talks about firefighters and their bravery and what we do and how it's important, and it takes a lot of courage. It's absolutely nothing compared to these kids walking around their school, being there to help these students that need their help in a subject that's super touchy.
So far, they've been to Washburn Rural Middle School with plans to go to the high school and have a goal of talking to 800 students total this year. Abernathy, now a family man with a 1.5-year-old at home, says it's the hardest lesson he's had to take on, teaching the next generation their lives matter and help is out there.
And that's our hope for all these younger kids coming up, is we want them to be the future. We want them to come in and kick us out and take our job someday. We just want them to be able to help each other.
With photojournalist Eric Ives, Erica Hall, 13 News.
If you'd like Lieutenant Abernathy and his team to talk at your school, just reach out to the Mission Township Fire Department. You can also find help through the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. We'll check weekend weather as 13 News Saturday edition continues after this. That's all for us this morning. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.
The latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter, Facebook, and our mobile app. Thank you for making 13 News the most watched weekend newscast.